and now heading back to the White House. Our next guest, expert in the Middle East, joining me now, Senior Director of the Iran Program for the Foundation for Defense Democracies, Behnam Ben Taleblu. Great to see you, sir. Always a pleasure. This is history. When we look at the left, we look at Mark Kelly and others who will try to detract about this and criticize President Trump. We know that at the end of the day, the largest state sponsor of terrorism has been eliminated. But there's a ways to go, sir, between taking out top leadership and having a new day in Iran. Talk to us about the process here and also concerns in the homeland for potential proxies and terror cells. Even Kash Patel has upped, a lot of the infrastructure here in the homeland as a result.
Well, great to be with you. It's a real pleasure to break down what is going on right now, because you're right, these are history-making times. Within the first day, dare I say actually within the first 12 hours, Israel and America took out the commander-in-chief of the world's foremost state sponsor of terrorism. You and your viewers know that there have been targeted strikes against terrorist leaders in the past, but none of those strikes in the past 2 or 3 decades that I can at least remember have been against a sitting state leader. Everything that has been seen before, against bin Laden, against Baghdadi, against Soleimani, against Nasrallah, against Sinwar, those were all against non-state actors. Even Saddam, that was a capture, not a strike. They took out the chief of the axis of resistance here. But you're right, decapitation is not going to be the only way to solve this. It's going to be a combination of decapitation of political elite, defanging of long-range strike capabilities, which is going on underway right now as we speak, of the regime's short-range and as well as beginning to pave the pathway for Iranian people to come back out again. And that X factor is, will Israel and America, after they do the defanging mission, will they move to targeting the security forces en masse?
President Trump has offered them immunity if they want to take it now. This is their window, but they did not take the deal that they were trying to work out before Epic Fury started. Behnam, what does this mean for the proxies? You talked about Nasrallah as Sinwar. Obviously, this is the head of the snake, right? So we look at places like Lebanon. We look at the Houthis maybe upping their attacks there in the very critical Strait of Hormuz where oil moves through, and also the concern about terror cells here in the United States. In fact, that deadly shooting in Austin, tragedy where people are dead, 14 wounded, and the suspect, according to the FBI, was wearing a hoodie that said property of Allah and holding a Quran. This is some of the images here. FBI Director Kash Patel saying the FBI personnel are fully engaged on the situation overseas, instructing counterterrorism and intelligence teams to be on high alert. Do you believe, with our open borders for 4 years, that these sleeper cells, even though Iranian leadership has been taken out, that they're activated and maybe more energized today here and incentivized, sir?
Well, unfortunately, the threat is multivariate, as you know. First, in the region, Iran's terror proxies, the axis of resistance, they are down, but they are not out. Israel and America have had multiple military successes against them, but unfortunately, they still retain significant disruptive military capabilities that if these guys do choose to respond to the killing of Khamenei or the gutting of their patron in Tehran, America and Israel probably will need to stand ready to push back militarily and hard against the political leadership and military capabilities of these organizations. But the good news is, thus far, fear has kicked in, and they haven't done that. So that's the picture for the region. For the homeland, no, the problem is more kaleidoscopic than that, unfortunately. Not only is there the challenge of the open border that you mentioned for all 4 years of the Biden administration, where over 10 million people have entered the country in an undocumented fashion, illegally, I should say,
right.
But also the fear of lone wolf terrorism and lone wolf radicalization here in the United States. Because if we look at the pattern of Iran-supported activity on American soil for the past 15 years, they've actually tried to work by, with, and through local criminal syndicates. In the past, that has included everything from Mexican drug cartels to European mafias to even Canadian biker gangs. So it's not just the illicit immigration challenge, it's the lone wolf challenge, plus, of course, the transnational criminal threat challenge, which means the FBI and DOJ, they have their work cut out for them.
Well, I'll tell you, Hezbollah, which had a pretty big foothold in Venezuela, not going to get far anymore because of President Trump as well there. So it is amazing in history in the making, of course, but sadly not without some major concerns about what happens in the next few days. Behnam Ben Taleblu is setting the table for us very well this evening. Thank you so much for your expertise, your analysis. I hope you come back soon.
Pleasure. Good to see you.